Welcome back to the I keep saying that, the Andrew Tate Show by GSMC Sports. Let me just put it out there that I've hosted with you on other things, and many of our shows start with GSMC. So I am very programmed to start saying GSMC at the beginning of the name. At any rate, welcome back to the Andrew Tate Show by GSMC Sports. Before the break, we were talking about the settlement, the House versus NCAA settlement and the implications thereof. We are moving on to the NFL now, and Jim Harbaugh. There's some changes happening with the way that things are happening at the Chargers. So Jim Harbaugh, the newly appointed head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers, has made significant changes to the team's culture and practice routines during the off-season training activities, or OTAs. Known for his rigorous and disciplined approach, Harbaugh has quickly implemented modifications aimed at revamping the team environment that had stagnated under former coach Brandon Staley. Reporters observed a stark contrast in practice dynamics, noting the absence of music, a staple in previous regimes, including Harbaugh's focus on minimizing distractions. Furthermore, Harbaugh emphasized conditioning, dedicating the final minutes of practice to intense physical drills, such as sled pulls and medicine ball carries. The shift highlights his intent to boost players' endurance and readiness for the grueling 17-game NFL season. A significant cultural change introduced by Harbaugh is the inclusion of 11-on-11 drills during OTAs, a departure from Staley's practice of only conducting 7-on-7 drills. This adjustment allows players to engage in more realistic game scenarios, enhancing their tactical preparedness and on-field chemistry. Notably, quarterback Justin Herbert and the first-team offense participated extensively, facing off against both the first and second-team defenses. Harbaugh's commitment to transforming the Chargers is further supported by his strategic hiring of top performance specialists. Ben Herbert, formerly of Michigan, now serves as the executive director of player performance. Alongside him, Devin Woodhouse and Lincoln DeWolf, among others, bolster the strength and conditioning staff, underscoring Harbaugh's focus on physical and performance analytics. The overhaul is timely, considering the Chargers' disappointing 5-12 record last season, their worst in nearly a decade. With key players like running back Austin Eckler and wide receivers Keenan Allen and Mike Williams departing, the team faces a significant rebuilding phase. Harbaugh's rigorous approach aims to instill discipline and resilience, essential qualities for competing in the highly competitive AFC West, particularly against dominant teams like the Kansas City Chiefs. By fostering a culture of focus and physical excellence, Harbaugh is laying the groundwork for the Chargers to potentially become a formidable force. His track record with San Francisco 49ers and his collegiate success suggest that with proper cultural adjustments and leveraging the talent of players like Justin Herbert, the Chargers could experience a swift turnaround. The question remains, how quickly can these changes translate into victories on the field? So, Tate, as we start talking about this, what do you think of those new changes? Do you think that they will be effective? Do you think it's a good idea? Give me your thoughts.
Okay. All of this I absolutely love. But this is one of the big things about hiring a Jim Harbaugh. You can't be a first-year coach and walk into an NFL locker room and overhaul things the way Jim Harbaugh just did. Don't think you can. If you're a first-year coach, you're a coach that don't have the same cachet as a Jim Harbaugh, who has won everywhere he's been. San Diego State, Stanford, 49ers, national championship at Michigan. He walks into that Charger locker room and it's like, oh, it's business. It's time. We have a coach that has cachet. Belichick can do this. You have to be able to be one of those coaches that command respect, because you walk into a locker room and you're saying, like, listen, that music is out. We're at the end of practice, we're pulling sleds. Hey, you need to focus. Players gonna be like, you know what? I got a contract. I'm a multi-millionaire. I'm a grown ass man in so many words. Who do you think you are? Sometimes I've often thought that's what's kind of affected some of the Patriot coaches that have gone to other teams, is because it is very hard to instill the Patriot way when everyone looks at it as, hey, Belichick did this, not you. And so you don't see, a lot of players, there's been a number of instances where players have not liked working with Patriot former coaches, because, these aren't high school kids. These aren't college kids. These are NFL athletes who've been at other organizations. And it's like, hey, we won over here and we were playing hip hop every dang day in the locker room. That's how we get hyped up. For a coach to come in there and be like, no, we're not doing that anymore, is hard to do unless you're a Jim Harbaugh. Now, the reason why I think it's great, Harbaugh has a playbook, the Harbaugh playbook, which is he's going to want a strong offensive line. He wants a quarterback that can spin it. He wants running backs that are going to be able to run the ball, because they're going to run the ball like nobody's business. When they get tired of running the ball, they're going to run the ball again. So what they're doing is and then with that, he wants them to be tough-minded, meaning very strong, very physical. A lot of what he's doing when you're talking about at the end of practice, pulling the sleds, conditioning, pulling the sled, more conditioning. So many of the games in the NFL, they're won at 2 points in time in the NFL. Halftime adjustments and gut check time at the end of games. So many games, teams have gotten right to the cusp, and then they blow it at the end. I hate to say this, as a Cowboy fan, I have seen so many Dallas Cowboy games get blown at like that fourth quarter. There's so many teams, and they're thought of as being like they choked at the end. It's not that they've choked at the end. Their conditioning has failed them. And that's one thing you can never say about a Harbaugh team. When you look at this national championship run, when you look at the last few years when Michigan was playing Ohio State, that's when Michigan has kind of put their boot on their neck and really closed things out. They're more physical in that fourth quarter. They're more conditioned in that fourth quarter, and they're going to run you down. He's going to run the ball. He's going to run the ball, and he's going to keep on running it down your throat. And you have to be ready for it. And you're ready for it in that first quarter. You're ready for it in the second quarter. But are you able to keep doing it in the third and fourth quarter? And then here's the ultimate dagger, as far as this is why I think Harbaugh is going to be successful. Everything I've just talked about, not one time have you heard me say Justin Herbert. I've talked about conditioning, being more physical, running the ball, getting strong in that fourth quarter, but I haven't talked about Justin Herbert. And the reason why that is just like J.J. McCarthy. Harbaugh doesn't want to put all the pressure on the quarterback, but what he wants is, when it comes down, we're going to out-physical you, and when it comes down to us and we have to start becoming finesse, we got the weapon to do it. That's Justin Herbert. So when it's third and long, and when it's getting late in the game, and you need to come back from being down, you have Justin Herbert. When you need to make that third and long, you have Justin Herbert. Also, as they're out physical in you, then you turn it over to a quarterback that can actually cut you and slice you up like a Justin Herbert. That's the reason why Harbaugh teams have been so successful. You looked around and you looked at the 49ers with Alex Smith, with Colin Kaepernick. He didn't ask them to win the game for them. They're going to be more physical. They're going to be more prepared. They're going to be strong down the stretch. That fourth quarter, 2-minute warning. They have more energy than you. They've worn you down, and now you know they're coming, and you can't do a thing about it. That's what makes them and Harbaugh successful, and why I think they're going to be successful going into the NFL season. And here's another interesting fact, Sarah. Harbaugh's teams, it doesn't take 3, 4, 5 years to run. This is rinse and repeat. Year 1, huge improvement. Year 2, they're contending. And I could see them moving even faster this year and turning things around year 1 with them.
All very good points. Like the way you laid it out. Now, something you may not know about me.
Okay.
I have never played in the NFL. So my point is, as an average, as just a normal person, not a professional athlete anyway, for me, whether it's working out, whether it's cleaning my house, whatever it is, music plays a huge part of that for me, getting myself kind of in that mental state that I need to be in. What do you think about the no music? Do you think that's helpful?
No, because I think it goes with first off, Harbaugh is an old school coach, and he's putting in old school philosophies. The Chargers will not be the modern offense. The Chargers are going to be an old throwback team where they're running the ball, they're being physical, but also they're prepared. From kickoff to the end of the game, everything is about mental preparedness. And so focusing on all the details, I want them listening to me. I want them prepared. Conditioning. One of the things that happens when your conditioning starts to fail, not only does your body, your arms get tired, your legs get tired, you ache more, but mentally you're not there. You're not as sharp. That's when mental mistakes happen, when you're tired. When you're fresh and sharp, your body's moving well, your mind is moving well, but down the stretch, when you get tired, that's when mental mistakes happen. He's homing in, making sure, stickler for details, making sure you know what your assignments are, where you need to be, your footwork, running the right route, running the proper play. Those are things that he's hammering in right now. You only have one chance to make a first impression, and he's making it that being detailed, focused, and conditioning are the keys to winning. And so that's kind of his approach. And as I know, one of the things I know about Harbaugh as a Michigan fan and have followed Harbaugh for years, the players love him. Once they get to know him, they absolutely love him. And so as right now establishing who he is and that early on is important, putting it in the Harbaugh way. And then later on in the year, that's when Harbaugh will kind of loosen up the reins a little bit. What he's doing, I absolutely love and I absolutely agree with. He will win in the NFL.
All right. Well,
like he's already done.
I'm looking forward to seeing the results that these changes have, how quickly they take effect, and just what happens as soon as the season starts.
Excellent.
So we're going to take our next break. When we come back, we're moving away from sports, and there's been some drama about an art installation that is a portal between Dublin and New York City. So we'll be talking about that when we come back. Stay tuned. You are watching The Andrew Tate Show by GSMC Sports, and we'll be right back.